Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today and for being the conscience of a nation that needs to find its moral compass fast. I am Michelle Ringuette. I'm with Amnesty International USA, and I am here on the 11th anniversary of when the U.S. government started sending detainees to Guantánamo Bay and has been holding them now for more than a decade, where they have never been tried. They have never had a chance to defend themselves, and they have never even been charged. This is totally unacceptable, and right now 166 men have been held from their families, their friends, and their futures, despite the fact that courts have instructed the government to charge them or release them immediately. So I was asked to come here today and make sure we don't miss the big picture on this, but I think we see the big picture. So I want to talk about this a little bit more personally and about something sort of small, but that I think really makes it hit home for me. So a few nights ago, Amnesty and our very good friends at Witness Against Torture were at the museum for the premiere of Zero Dark 30, and we were there to make sure that no one going into that movie would think that torture was a reason that we captured Osama bin Laden, and that they knew that torture is immoral, it is ineffective, and it is against international law. And so a day later, my son was looking at some of the pictures from it, my 5-year-old boy, and he started asking me questions about why all these men in orange jumpsuits had bags on their head. And I'm the kind of parent, I want to talk to my boy about justice. I want to talk to him about freedom and human rights. And I found myself tongue-tied. And at that moment, I realized that I am ashamed and embarrassed to try to explain this last error to my boy. And this is a moment when we all have to stand forward and speak out loud and make sure this is not done in our name. This is not done in our children's name, and that we stand up and make sure that the message the U.S. government has been sending to the world, that it can do whatever it wants, to whomever it wants, wherever it wants, and it won't make apologies for it, that stops now. So, so after 11 years, we can no longer write this off as excesses of the Bush administration or part of this global war on terror. This is happening right now, and these human rights violations are wholly owned by this administration, and there must be accountability and there must be remedy.
Yes!
So Amnesty International is here today to call for an end to the NDAA detention provisions and the Guantanamo transfer restrictions. Amnesty is calling for detainees who face no charges to be immediately released, and if they can't release them, they had better charge them and give them a fair trial. And Amnesty is calling for accountability for torture, and we urge Senators Feinstein, Levin, and McCain to release the CIA torture report. Wouldn't you like to see what's in that?
Yeah.
And Amnesty is calling for increased transparency on U.S. drone policy and an end to the unlawful killings around the world. Our rights are not human rights that the U.S. government gets to pick and choose which ones it will honor. And so President Obama, Congress, and the courts must ensure that the government upholds and protects the human rights of all people without discrimination and without delay. And with that, I want to turn it over to my friend Terry Rockefeller of September 11th Families for Peaceful Tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here.